What's up everyone? So here's some Exia gameplay in which I just want to show you guys really how crazy this character can be. So I picked some gameplay of mine. I'm going to talk over my decision making in it, and even though I may not be absolutely min-maxing everything, it just so much you can possibly do in this character. There's so much to be learned and so much improvement to be made, and so much that can be made in this character is absolutely insane. Though I do have to say I do kind of pop off in this this video here. Throwing your primary fires down in this sort of an area is just such high consistency. The character does so much damage that like even with regular primary fires, you do so much damage. It's just like, yeah, like we ended up getting, you know, taken out there, but you are very capable of just dealing consistent damage. Like I am with this character very capable of just dealing with like a GM sniper at range. If you see something at range, you start throwing little pot shots at it. Like other characters, it's not gonna really deal that much to them because of the fall off damage. But this character doesn't have fall off damage, so it's absolutely insane what the actual potential is. Really, just of how like much damage you have from burst at close, how much damage you have at far, just like that. You know, you're putting a lot of damage into characters, and you're not having to really like expose yourself a bunch for it. So that's really convenient. Again, as you can see right there, popping a chunk of damage in that Zaku, so he runs away, so I can res my little buddy here who refuses to dash away from that Exia. But I do end up saving him here. And here I do something pretty sick, if it's what I remember. Nah, it's coming. But I'm sure I still do something that's cool. Again, this ultimate is absolutely insane. The amount of movement it gives you. So normally you have 2 standard dashes. You have 1 dash that lets you go in the air, quick step, and then you have your charged attack that also lets you go in the air. But you have your 3 standard boost gauges. You can use all of those cooldowns and then ult, and then by the time you're done ulting, or by the time like the ult animation is over, you'll have your dash gauges back. You'll have 2 boosts for the quick step, and then you'll have a slash instead of your spin and slash ability. I'm lucky to keep getting caught on things in this video, but you'll have these extra dash abilities on your instead of your spin and slash, and then you'll have your standard attack, but you'll be looking at 7 dashes with your boost gauge. In addition to that, it's absolutely just insane what you can do with this character. And here I get killed by an invisible turret. Don't know what to say. Invisible turret pulls me into the Barbatos. 200 IQ. I don't know what to tell you guys about that one. Interesting little bug. But again, I'm like, if I hit those headshots there, I can kill that guy. Like the range damage is absolutely silly on this character. Absolutely silly. The nice thing about what this character does too is it slides on things really easily. So if you're charging up a one of these, you know, the boost attacks, the charge attacks with your sword, it can slide on things. So you can basically like hide yourself, and then when you get really close to an enemy, you can slide along the wall into them, and they can't even hit you. Like they won't be able to stop you essentially. So really convenient on that. Finally secure that kill. Should have stopped that guy from touching before that, to be completely honest. To stop him from getting those health things. And then you get Barbatos. Again, you know, yeah, you do have some low HP in general, so you kind of like, you have to understand that you're just going to die sometimes. But the raw capabilities of this character are just absolutely insane. Just huge damage there. 1 kill. Finish the kill. Get unlucky tomahawked around the corner. That was honestly just a really nice play from this Sazabi. Like I said, you know, you get in there, just hiding around the corner, about to charge to slide along this wall, and then, unlucky. Good play from him. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes from the next section here. Charge up around the corner, hit onto a target, spin and slash them, look for your next target immediately. I'm not really taking any damage right now, so I don't have to like escape, but I do have the ability to like immediately dash away from enemies. It's really convenient. You have a little quick step also in addition to your ability. So not only can you just dash in and then use your spin and slash, but you can immediately back up with your quick step, is what it's called, the little leap ability. Just trying to see if I can squeeze that around the corner. I was experimenting this gameplay for sure. This is from my my most recent stream, and yeah, I was definitely experimenting. Just kind of limit testing the characters. Just vibing. It was pretty fun though. Just really high damage. Gonna go see if I can finish this Zaku here. And like that's what I really love about the character is like how well you can just poke at range, and you have infinite ammo there. Yeah, everyone's dead. Right, I love the fact that you do have infinite ammo with the regular primary fire. Just that you can always be firing at range. You're not losing, like, you know, just by throwing a pot shot at something, you're not losing any uptime on your damage because you don't have an ammo count to worry about. Again, just 3 body shots there, and I'm doing, you know, enough to kill the guy in the situation. That is a lot. So much mobility, so we get to chase down Zaku. This character is really good against Barbatos too. So you can do things like I'm doing right now, where you just kind of kiting him a little bit. Didn't really feel like dealing with him in that situation, but we totally can. So we just fly up in the air. I have 2 options to do that. Either I can go to stun him. Something you might see me do in this video is not fully charge up one of the slash abilities, because you don't have to. It still stuns regardless of how charged it is. It obviously deals less damage, but what you can do is just use it to stun something. If something's up in your face all of a sudden, just tap it and hit them into them. Like here, I don't charge it all the way because he starts attacking me. You know, it doesn't always have to be fully charged. You can secure the damage doesn't have to come from the combo. Just be confident in your ability to like hit your primary fires too, and you'll get like a very solid amount of damage out of it. So, yeah, that's a really important skill to just remember. Looking to hit a nice little ult here. Don't go quite that far, but we secure the kill on that guy. Pop our ult, looking for the sneak around. As you can see, this does more damage, charges faster, and has a lower cooldown. And immediately we dip out of there. And then we go right back in. Nice and secured kills. And then the Nano Sazabe walks over and just tells me I can no longer play the game. So, like, there is, you know, a reality that you're not going to be able to, like, get, just live all the time. Also, by the way, look outside of you when you're out of the spawn. I'm pretty sure I was checking my chat when I was looking at this, but yeah, those guys were hiding behind. So, yeah. But here you can see, I'm not like, I wouldn't suggest like dueling Jim snipers consistently, but if they're not paying that much attention, throwing like a shot or 2 into their face can be really powerful. If you hit them with one set of your daggers, it can be worth trying to go for a second one, because 2 full headshots will kill him. And at that point, it's worth like just, you know, considering really doing that. You don't want to like plan ahead, because it will win that trade. You know, 9 out of 10 times, right? If they're not bad, essentially. Although I was going for the duel in these sort of situations against the people I play with, just because the people I was playing against weren't punishing me with it. So, yeah. I honestly really, really love the way that spin and slash works, just because it can be used in the combo, but it doesn't have to be. If something's low, you can just dash onto them and spin and slash just to get a little bit of damage into them. Just to get a little bit of damage into them, or to finish them off or something like that. It's a really fun ability. It also pushes people, so you can dash behind people and use it to push something into your team. Like, honestly, if you're flanking on like a Sazabi or something, you could literally use that to just knock them into your team and knock them out of position. It, you know, it might be a little bit situational in the game in which the movement is already so fast, but it is still a viable option, definitely. Get a nice little kill secure there. And this is really nice because the cooldown's nice and quick, that you can really get away with that. Even into something like Sazabi, you're just putting in just a regular primary fire, you know, like a, just kind of right click my left click and just throw some daggers out, is a very consistent damage form for the character. So it's very, it's just powerful. To be honest, I wouldn't be not surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked, and I wouldn't be like saying it's not super unjustified if they were to nerf it a little bit. And this character, as you can see there, is really good against Barbatos, just because Barbatoses have to play really well. They have to catch you out. There's no real reason you should ever be dying to a Barbatos, unless, you know, you just happen to be out of cooldowns or something and one shows up, or you're in a heated duel with something else and it comes and finishes you off, that sort of thing. If it's a clean one-on-one like that, there's just no reason. Or, you know, if they ult you, like this guy likes to do to me. So, you know, that's another option, right? Get a nice little destruction there. Remember, we run away until we get nanoed, and we go right back in, and then I'm going to beat this Zaku here just with my primary fires. We're both nanoed, by the way, which is kind of funny. And then this guy gets stuck. Actually feels bad for this poor little Metis. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong getting stuck on the wall there. I do like this map pretty decently. It's kind of funky, to be honest. But see, look at that. I don't think I hit all those, and that's just immediately like a... That's just immediately like over half of its HP from one single set of headshots. That's just a bunch of damage, man. I don't know what to say. Very like impressively high damage. And like sometimes you do get a little bit weird. Oh yeah, by the way, I should probably talk about this. Like sometimes it gets a little bit weird when you dash and you go like slip past them even though you hit them. But yeah, here when you do get grabbed, make sure you do whatever the heck I'm doing, because when I'm doing that, if you hit a headshot on one of those shots, I would have been like 80 HP, or, you know, I would potentially have been dead. But doing that little weird little jerking around thing will jerk your head around. If you're looking down and then moving to the side and looking up and stuff like that, it will jerk your head around. Because usually in these games, what happens is if you lean forward, your character's head leans forward. And then if you turn, it's turning around the axis like this, essentially. So you're able to get like a lot of weird motion, and you're able to move your hitbox around. And so if you can't move at all, just don't stand there and look at them and make the headshots easy, you know? Make it weird, make it funky. And you'll get a lot of extra, not a lot maybe, but, you know, enough to survive, right? Enough to survive. So that's good enough in these situations. Now about to see me Trans Am. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes here. Make sure you're using your cooldowns before you Trans Am. Trans Am, like I said, it restores your cooldowns. And yes, it does more damage, but I think it's always good to be using your cooldowns first, just to be like getting max value out of it. As you don't have to go for like super risky stuff, but at least putting like a solid amount of like consistent ability usage will give you extra value. Because even if you're getting like a single hit and then you dash away and then you Trans Am, well, that's like another, you know, another slash that you weren't going to get in. You might take a little bit of damage, but as long as you're not going for something too risky, it's very valuable to do that sort of thing. Like I said, this map is kind of weird. A lot of little doors. Other than the fact that it's a destruction map, which I don't really like destruction maps too much. I think the game mode kind of needs some work. I don't mind this map too much. It is pretty open. Yeah, there's rooms, but the rooms are open, and as long as there's space to have both open areas and closed off areas, I'm pretty content with the way that the game mode is designed. So, yeah, pretty good. Round 2 over. We'll see how the rest of this goes. Skipping ahead so you guys don't have to see my guy just doing nothing. But like I said, really what you want to be doing with the primary fires is as much as you can, just getting farm. Like if you're throwing in like 1 or 2 extra sets, like let's see when I hit somebody how much I do. I got 5% ult charge off of that, 50% damage on that sniper. And so that's just like, you know, let's just say I'm throwing in like 5 more of those levels of damage per fight than, or per like, I don't know, per every like 5 minutes than somebody else's. That's like 25% more ultimate. And so what tends to happen a lot of the time, and like that's not even realistic, it can usually be a lot more than that. Usually what ends up happening is you will not have your ultimate like towards the end of the fight. You'll be like sitting there with like 80% and you'll not quite get it. But these sort of situations will make it so you will get it. And so if you're at the beginning of a round and you like have time to farm, and you have nothing better to be doing, you should really be doing it. I mean, in general, you should just be doing it just because of how the fact that like you do deal a lot of damage. But ult farming is really, really important, especially if you're good with the ultimate, especially if it's a powerful ultimate. If your ult's not that good, then, you know, farm it if you're confident and still go to kill people for damage. But a lot of the situations, it's literally just like, it's literally just specifically for the farming. Nice little dash up. Get the slash through that guy. And look at the movement there to just escape. Gonna dash through the health pack, make sure we get that. Can't get the bomb, unfortunately, but in that situation, I decided not to try and go for it because there's other people to get it, and I was literally ulting, so a lot more value if I like, it was very unlikely for us to be able to defuse it, and if I'd been able to pop off more and my team had been able to start trying to res, there's actually a chance that we're going to get it, you know. So that's what I went for there. It's just about decision making, basically, like whether you want to make a certain decision. And in general, for this character, you do have to understand, like, just the way that the slash works. It's funky. You will very frequently just slide off of things. So you have to keep that in mind. Just be aware and ready to pay attention to like where you're sliding off of someone to, and where it's going to be taking you, because if you do, then you're not going to know where to spin and slash into. You know where to like do your regular attack damage into. Kills our guy and then runs off onto the elevator. We do like getting nanoed though. So much damage. Huge damage onto these guys. Now we push onto this GM sniper. Make him regret picking the character. Hit our ult and look back to get with our buddies. Alright, last round here. Let's see if our team wins. They aren't sitting in spawn hunting us this time. Pretty nice. But again, like I said, every time you just throw primary fires, you're getting about 5%. So I've already farmed 70% of my ultimate just from those regular attacks. I almost have my ults already. These sort of ult farming is really, really important in this game. Just because, like, in Overwatch, for example, there's a very consistent trade-off for, like, all the damage you do gets healed back, and so the enemy games out as healer ult charge. But in this game, that doesn't happen that often because the healers aren't as strong. So you're losing a lot of... So you dealing damage is giving you a huge advantage, just on average. And not even on average, it's just pretty much always, because unrealistically, are they ever going to really fully heal up any sort of damage you deal? Because even if you deal something like 500 damage, well, what mobile suit can consistently heal 500 damage? Jim, like one time with his nade? That was a nice kill right there. You know? So they're not going to be able to get that back. And passively healing it yourself doesn't give you ult charge, and picking up a health pack also doesn't give anything ult charge. These games are very, very, very much about ult charge, and so if you don't, you know, farm it and get your ults up and then use them effectively, then you're going to be at a huge disadvantage for these sort of things. That's why you also see me consistently like finishing off targets. If I can, if there's nothing else for me to do, I always finish them off. Like, not nothing else always for me to do, but like there's times where I'll actively like go out of my way to do it, even if they weren't going to die, just because it's free ult charge, you know. And if you're doing that a few extra times, it's going to be about what, like 5% each time. Might even be, you know, more each character. I think they buffed it actually. I think they buffed the number of health that enemies get when they die. I believe now it's 50%. That's the number it feels like. Could be a little bit wrong with that. But I think I just hit, you know, 3 primary fires into that Metis, and he now has about 50 HP left. So it might be 300. It might be a little wonky number. Get that plant, and when you get the plant, right there, like you can see that tech I was talking about where you just do a quick little dash. You show up, they're there. You don't have to charge it all the way up. We didn't need the damage. The stun on him, the slash onto him is going to be enough for me to secure that kill. Unlucky. Unlucky timing for me. But even if you do end up, you know, needing that damage, there's a chance that the guy was just going to turn and end up like killing you. just because of the fact that you're standing there charging up your shot. You know, maybe he turns and hits a pot shot into your face, and then one of his teammates comes up and tickles you a little bit more. You might die doing that sort of thing. If you're looking for some more Gundam Evolution videos, then make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I made one for all original to 14 mobile suits, and I did a Should You Main guide series also, covering the same mobile suits and talking about whether you should actually main them in Gundam Evolution or not.